Overcoming shyness is one of the most valuable wins you could stack up throughout your life. It opens up a whole new realm of possibilities, friendships, and relationships. People you used to put on a pedestal before can now be your friends casually. You gain the respect of those around you, and you respect yourself, which is the most important thing you could do. In this video, I'm gonna teach you the exact step-by-step protocol that's gonna get you there. I'm gonna start with my personal story. So I used to be a shy introvert for most of my life. I was so anxious that I would perfectly, carefully craft every behavior and every word that came out of me. I would do that around everyone. And by everyone, I really mean everyone. I would do that around my family and around my closest friends too. No one knew the real me, just the front, just the facade I was putting out there. And I hated that, to be honest. So I decided something had to change, and for over 10 years I started studying social science on my own. I tried everything out, every tips and tricks and piece of advice I could find out there, implementing it, and 3 years ago I stumbled across something that finally did it for me. So yeah, I wasted over 7 years doing nonsense, but it was worth it, because now talking to people feels comfortable to me. I can't even remember the last time I heard that demonic voice poisoning my mind with diminishing and criticizing things. Talking to people is really nice now. I can feel comfortable, I can embrace everything, I can feel relaxed. I got more vulnerable, which earned me the respect of others and got me to befriend some people that I could have never befriended before. I like my social life a lot right now. I like having those people around me and they like having me around as well. So it's a win-win too. Now, before we start the practical advice, I have a warning for you. You will get triggered. You need to be ready for this. A truth losers don't want to accept is that progress sucks. Progress hurts. If everything is nice and everything feels pleasurable, that's not real progress. Real progress is painful because you have to kill a part of you. You have to kill certain beliefs you hold on to so strongly. So if you're ready to go through that messy process, then let's dive straight into it. The practice I used is what I call mindful exposure therapy, MET, and it's a 4-step protocol. And the first step of this is knowledge. Knowledge is not the sexiest answer, I know, but it's mandatory. We cannot proceed without knowledge, because knowledge is what opens up everything else. And the knowledge I'm talking about is to understand that your brain has been lying to you. Your brain is holding you in an invisible prison cell that tells you that going outside of it, which is your comfort zone, going outside of it is dangerous. Taking charge of a conversation is dangerous, maybe. Talking loudly is dangerous. Opening up is dangerous. All of these beliefs that you have to be open to letting go of them. This is the knowledge we need. And I have over 150 videos where I try to break this down to make you understand, to get you through this mindset shift. So you can look them up on my channel. I'm not gonna go deeper here into them, but the idea is that the goal of this first step is to get yourself open to change. The goal is not to make the change, just to allow yourself to do the change, right? To open up your mind, to brainwash yourself with new beliefs, to update those old and poisonous beliefs. And by the way, this is painful again. Your ego will hate this. Your ego will completely hate this because your ego just wants you to stay prisoner in there. Your ego doesn't want you to become a great socializer. It thinks that being shy is cool because being shy is safe. Blending in, being an NPC, that's the goal your ego has. What you have to do is show your ego the middle finger and go ahead and follow my advice, or follow the advice of someone that says something similar. Please don't follow the advice of people that just talk about the top 5 social skills and all of that stuff, because that makes no progress, and those people don't want you to make true progress. They just want you to stay stuck. Now, step number 2, which is actually the first practical step, is to start talking to people randomly and every single day. This is the practical advice you are looking for. And what I have to say about this is to not try to talk to people, to not use one-liners, to not watch tips and tricks on how to talk to people, to literally allow your thoughts to flow out. That's the talking I want you to do. To allow your thoughts, your raw, authentic thoughts, to flow out from your brain through your mouth and out. Your brain is generating a lot of ideas when you are in social situations anyway. All you have to do is release them. Now, of course, if your brain generates negative, criticizing ideas about everyone, that's not the best idea to just release them blindly. But you get what I mean, right? So what I used to do when I went through this process, I was in the gym, and if something weird happened, or like let's say it was pretty cold that day and the person next to me just coughed, I would just be like, oh, it's pretty cold in here, isn't it? You see, the conversation didn't start with, hi, I'm Alex. No, it was just something like, we are in the same environment and my brain noticed something. I just said something about that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nothing complicated, no tips and tricks and tactics. I was just saying what my mind told me, allowing that information to come out. And I got nice conversations out of those interactions, really, out of those small talks. And I try to do that down the street, just walking on a regular day, if the circumstances were appropriate. I did that in shops and in all sorts of social environments. Understand that most people will react better than you think, better than you expect. They like talking, they like having a small talk here and there, despite the fact that they might seem so cold and avoidant. A lot of them like that, but then you will find also a lot of people that are just irritated. They're not really open to talking too much. They think, oh, like, is this guy trying to sell me something? What's going on? Why am I getting approached? Leave me alone, please. It is what it is. We can't filter out those people. We don't really know which ones will react in the perfect way and which ones will be irritated. You just have to accept it and to go on with your progress, because this is the name of the game we're playing. Now, the next thing you have to do in this second step as well is to get more vulnerable with your friends. Talk about more things that feel embarrassing to you, maybe. Open up more. Try to take up more space in a conversation. Try to go where your ego doesn't want you to go, right? Try to talk about something that you'd never told anyone before and it's embarrassing to you. And now I'm sure something popped up in your mind and you're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. That's too much. That's the progress. That's the progress you just agreed on doing. Do you really want the progress, or do you want to be like the 99% of people that never get anywhere, that always stay stuck? This is the uncomfortable progress I was talking about. Go ahead and expose yourself. Use your ego and your triggers and your resistance as a compass, because they are pointing to you that in that direction, that's exactly where you have to go to make the progress and to break out of your shyness, to tap into your true confidence. It's not comfortable. It's not all being and hee hee ha ha nice. It's a tough process. It triggers us a lot. But this is where the true progress is. There's no point in having a reputation that you have to play up to every single time, because this is what you're currently doing around your friends, at least. You have this reputation of being in a certain way, right? And everything that threatens your reputation is something that you're never gonna engage in, because your reputation is the bare minimum of your social life. You cannot become more vulnerable than your reputation allows you to become. Well, guess what? The most charismatic people don't have a reputation at all. And that's what separates them from you. Want to be like them? Want to get the nice feedback, the nice social respect they are getting? Be more vulnerable. Destroy your reputation altogether. Destroy your expectations altogether. Because, by the way, expectations and this reputation, they are just fueling your anxiety and your insecurities, and will keep doing this forever if you don't take action on it. They are pushing away charisma. They are pushing away your true confidence. They are keeping you stuck in the invisible prison cell, keeping you stuck in shyness? Do you want to keep living like that? Like, come on. Once you take the courage to do it, you will just realize that, oh, like, why was I even afraid of these things? Like, there's nothing to fear here. Nothing bad really happened. I'm still alive. I still have my friends. It's just a trap, a lie that your mind tells you, that your ego wants you to obey. Stop believing it, please. Now, step number 3 is again a vital one, and it's mindfulness. Mindfulness makes the difference between the ones that make the progress and the ones that never make the progress. Because you also see a lot of people that engage in these uncomfortable situations. They trigger themselves. They go and do the exposure therapy, right? But their exposure therapy is mindless. They don't think about this. They don't feel anything. They're just like, I need to numb my anxiety. And the trap with this is that when you go through mindless exposure therapy, you fuel your anxiety because you only create an even better, an enhanced reputation you have to live up to every single time. And then again, when your reputation is threatened, you become anxious, you lose control, you get triggered like crazy. Or if you, for some reason, you get a disease and you have to spend 2 weeks inside your house, when you go outside, you're gonna be triggered like crazy. You lose control over yourself. You realize that you made no progress actually. It was just an illusion all along. But mindfulness cures that. Mindfulness means feeling whatever comes up, whatever emotion comes up throughout your body. And what I mean by emotion is not like, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel frustrated. No, that involves the brain, and that's an issue already. We need to disengage the brain completely, shut it down, and just focus on whatever you can feel throughout your body. Maybe you can feel some sort of tension in your throat. Maybe you can feel some sort of, shivers throughout your spine. That is the feeling I'm talking about. You can literally point to a certain area in your body. That's where your energy is, right? And that's what you have to embrace. That's what you have to accept, to feel, to stay with it. Because that's the process of letting go. Letting go is what makes the difference between the persons that just engage in mindless exposure therapy and the ones that are mindful about this. And then what you can do is take a piece of paper or a journal and a pen and start writing, start introspecting about this. That's the best way to organize your thoughts, so that's why I'm suggesting journaling. You can also think about these things, but for me at least it's a bit more messy. It's pretty tough to do it. And you can ask yourself deeper questions like, am I really as boring as I thought? Is talking to people louder such a dangerous thing? Is being more vulnerable threatening to my reputation? Is a reputation even serving me in any way at all? Also pay attention to the situations that are gonna remind you of previous social trauma you encountered throughout your life. Because those will come. Like every single day we already encounter a lot of situations that resemble the situations from the past that used to traumatize you. And now you get triggered. Beware of those. Those are the compass I talked about. Those point to you that you need to go exactly in that direction and solve something, cure a wound that was never healed. That is valuable data. That is exactly where you should go. And you will encounter a lot of resistance to going that way because it's painful. Your ego tells you, no, please don't go there. We cannot go there. That's dangerous. That will be a threat to our reputation. That will get you killed. You start feeling like you're at gunpoint. But if you embrace it, if you go through it and try to be comfortable while doing it, you realize that there was nothing threatening all along. You survived it and you came out better on the other side. And this is proof. This is a bit of proof that the reality you've been living in so far is fake. You don't have to be shy. It's just an outdated defensive mechanism that probably served you well sometime in the past, but now there is no point for it anymore, so you might as well let go of it. Now, the final step number 4, is iteration and progressive overload. You know how when you go to the gym, you start with light weights, then you increase the weights as time goes on. Here, it's just the same. We have to increase the uncomfortability because these basic practices we talked about already, they will become comfortable after a while. You need to get into more and more uncomfortable situations and use your compass, your ego, and your triggers as a guiding tool. Go dive straight in and fix those situations as well. Dive straight in and heal your unhealed trauma from the past, your wounds. And you will just realize that you start breaking out of this shyness shell. You start experiencing a new version of reality. You start unlocking new tiers of friends, new tiers of partners even. You enjoy your social experience overall. You feel free. Isn't that beautiful? And through this practice, what you're basically doing is updating your self-image as well. And here I have a nice analogy for you. Watch this rubber band, right? This rubber band is basically you. This is your self-image, and this is you trying social skills. You try social skills, you try to make progress, then it just snaps back to the original point because your self-image is strongly rooted. Your self-image has not changed. You are just working on the outside, showing people better and better versions of you. A bit more charismatic, a bit more funny, a bit more socially skilled, then it just snaps because you got triggered. Now what happens if you work on your self-image, which is exactly what I broke down so far, letting go and creating a new reality. This is updating your self-image as well and the image of the world. Well, then you move your self-image and then you can also move your outer image that you show to the world. And it doesn't really snap back anymore. They are closer to one another, maybe even the same point. And that's the ideal goal. Because the beauty of our self-images is that they can drag us up or down. For most people, they are dragging them down. If we are smart, we can make our self-image drag us up and create this automatic procedure, this automatic process of becoming better and better and better. Now, as I said, it's a tough process. It requires a lot of time. I'd say like at least 3 months of consistent effort. But compared to the lifetime of shyness you've been living, that's nothing, so it's definitely worth it. But if you want my personal guidance, I have a link in the description and you can book a meeting with me and I will be there for you. I will help you through this journey as I helped myself, as I helped a few other guys. And if you relate to my story, then what are you waiting for? If you feel the need for guidance, go ahead and book the meeting.